I'm lost somewhere in my head, but now they're all on my own. I'm holding tight to the pledge. I'm somewhere near the edge. Love wishing we never met. I'm scared of being without you. Afraid no one ever know me. I'm out near the edge, and I can't get this out of my head yet.
Yo, guys. What's happening, people? Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Raki, man. Hope you're alright. No YouTube notification. That's so sad. I don't get why YouTube's doing this to me. I just don't get it. Sorry, man. Yo, if you want the tracks, you need to go reach out to my guy, Ed Poster, on Instagram. So just go to the description of the video and just get onto my Instagram and you'll see me following my guy there. All right. But good evening, everyone. I hope everyone's doing well. Do we think that we've got one more dip before the big pump? Well, I'm going to dive into a few other things later on in this stream, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to consider a couple of things in the on-chain analysis and analytics and what have you, because I'm trying to dive into understanding what's going on with crypto overall. I'm trying to level up my understanding of the way the structure of price develops and what factors could trigger the movement of price from one point to the next, you know, because this game is all about adding confluence to confluence, okay? But you can't have too much confluence because then you ain't going to make no decision, all right? Because there is a certain amount of confluences that you need to put into the chart, or should I say you should expect a certain number of confluences to come into play before you say to yourself, you know what, it's time to pay to play. That's the nature of this game, okay? The odds are in our favor, ladies and gentlemen. Why? Because it can either go in one direction or the next. It's a 50-50. But it's all down to how much money you expose at that point in time and how long you're prepared to pay to be wrong. But at the same token, how much are you willing to take from the market when you're right? So we're going to dive into a couple of those aspects later on in the stream. But it's 9 p.m. UK time, well, 10 past 9. I am a little bit sooner than expected on the stream, but it's a busy week for me, ladies and gentlemen. So I've got to try and fit it in all as soon as I can. So without further ado, to my girl Raki for correcting me on that. I know I'm saying bye, but it just sounds good to say. Let's just say that. I don't know. But anyways, to all the new people passing through to the stream, be sure to like and subscribe at the end of the stream, guys. Make sure that your time has been served here and that you feel like it's worth coming back to the next stream, okay? But more importantly, my pattern watchers, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Let's have a conversation, guys. Let's roll out and have a word with what's going on with Steve and his behavior in this game we call trading. So, in front of you, to anybody new, we have got the hybrid system to the left. We've also got the book map to our right, which is Bitcoin across 5 exchanges. You see, what I like to do, ladies and gentlemen, is to collate as much information for you guys, and then you guys will be the judge on what is enough for you, okay? So, I'm looking at price from so many angles. I will always be true and loyal to the hybrid system. The hybrid system, in my opinion, works well for me, okay? And it's enough for me. But what's wrong with adding caution to caution and understanding why does price move from one point to the next, okay? So the basis of tonight's stream is to help us understand what if Bitcoin does come down to certain zones in the chart, okay? Now, only a few moments ago, ladies and gentlemen, okay, when I was taking the picture for the actual thumbnail itself, okay, this is what I could see, all right? I could see these zones right here, all right? The 59 zone, 58, and the 55. Now, you can see there are hard orders right there that are yet to be filled in the chart, all right, based off the order book itself. This is where price was right here, all right? And these are the zones in the chart that I was paying attention to. The 55K zone, the 58 zone itself, and of course the 58,500 zone, which is the halfway point, okay? So what's so important about this? Well, look at the book map right now. If you notice just a few moments ago before this stream, just before I started speaking, these red lines weren't present. They were yellow. But what you're noticing now is you've got now more orders coming in into the chart. Okay? What's happening here, ladies and gentlemen, is they are probing people. You see, the book map itself is the live book map of the current order book for the orders for Bitcoin across all these exchanges. So Bitstamp, Binance, FTX, GDAX, and Kraken. All right? You can see something is happening. Only a few moments ago, these red lines here, where the highest forms of liquidity were present, weren't present a moment ago. Something is happening, okay? What my understanding of this is this. When these orders appear and disappear, what it's doing is it's the market maker, or whatever it is with the algorithms, orders coming in from left, right, and center. They are trying to induce traders to get filled at these points. When they disappear, it's because they know that price is likely to not reach that zone. So what they do is they move up the orders, okay? They're moving up the orders to encourage people to get orders filled at this point. Now you can see bright as day that the book map is showing a imbalance of 10% favoring limit sells, which is why we're now seeing price moving higher, okay? The idea is that these limit sales get filled and then price by principle should be coming back down to fill these orders. But it's all down to how long these orders decide to stay in the chart. As you can see with the hybrid on the left side of the chart, ladies and gentlemen, we can see we've just had an influx of money come into the zone, drop down and then reverse back up. This is the market maker triggering the retail trader and making them believe that Bitcoin is going to go lower. Now, granted, Bitcoin could go lower, but at this point in time, Bitcoin now is moving back up. You see, it spent most of the day stuck in this zone. And what have we said about the wicks? Okay, the wicks needed to get recovered. And look what's happened. They came down and recovered more than 50% of this wick right here. Okay, so now we are seeing a little bit of a reversal. Okay. Price is now trying to trade above the 5 and the 13 EMA. If you look ever so closely, you can see bright as day. They came down right at the lows right here and bounced away from that point. The vector candle didn't fail to actually close at the lowest point, but this was a stop hunt low and shifting out of the zone. A small W formation is in process. All right. So if this small W does decide to play out, the first point of resistance, in my opinion, is likely to be the 800 EMA in the chart, which is the 200 EMA on the 4-hour time frame. See, what you've got to understand, guys, is this Bitcoin, okay, on the 4-hourly, okay, it's come back down below the 200 EMA, and look at this behavior. Look at all this whipping and whacking, these wicks all to the lows and wicks to the upside. Something is getting ready to turn, okay? Now, guys, this is not a crash, okay? If we zoom out and have a closer look, we can understand something. These zones right here are where the market maker likes to show his presence, okay? He's shown his hand by marking price down lower and moving price to certain points in the chart to activate previous pools of liquidity in the chart. You can see green vector candle gets recovered. In this candle right here, there's a vector zone that gets recovered. And then, of course, you've got this little pool of liquidity right here, which they could actually come down to. But if you can see where the true liquidity is at, where most of the orders are sitting, it's all up here. This is where the market maker can make his money. So if I bring up the book map itself and I zoom out and look further and further away from the zone itself, you can see that we have got a lot of interest in and around the 61 zone up here. So orders are starting to come in right there. I just need to bring the chart back out a little bit. And of course, you have got the 70K zone. Okay. The 70K zone, orders are still being added at that point. They're expecting Bitcoin to come back up at some point in the chart to that zone. Okay, and if you just notice just then, look at this. All these limit orders that are getting ready to be sat on the book. Sorry, sat in price right now. These are the resting orders right here. All right. So principle would say that when they do actually go above this point right here, the orders and interest at this point right here should be triggered at this zone right here, based on how I've understood how bookmap works. Okay, we've got the support down here. So if there is no interest from this zone right here, then we are likely to see Bitcoin take another move to the downside, which by principle would form a bigger W formation. But if they actually come back up a point above this zone in the chart, okay, where the 200 EMA sits, there's a good chance that we are going to see an influx of orders coming into the chart. Look, see what's happening? They're actively hitting those zones right now. Okay? You can see the volume coming in. All right? Now listen to this. In light of on-chain analytics, I've been diving into understanding how I can really use this information to interpret what is likely to happen across the board with Bitcoin as such. Okay? So I've come across an interesting point with the unrealized profit and loss in the chart. Okay? And of course, Bitcoin's temperature. Where is it? The Bitcoin's temperature, price temperature as such. So let me just get that up for you. Where's that at again? I know I've got that somewhere. Where is it? Bitcoin temperature. Where's that? In market tops and bottoms. That should give me... Where are you again, man? I don't understand this. What's going on? Where did I have my information about Bitcoin? There it is, the workbench. Forgive me. Okay, so this is Bitcoin's temperature. Okay, price temperature, which pretty much says that when Bitcoin is at the highest volatility outside of these bands here, we expect to retrace from that zone. When it's at the lowest temperature, we expect to retrace from that point as well. Okay, right now, Bitcoin is at, okay, the standard deviation or the midpoint in the chart. So this is the price right here. All right. And this is the mean as such. Okay. The mean of these two zones right here. All right. Now, Bitcoin is coming down and it says 60,246 and it updates every 24 hours. Okay. We can see that Bitcoin is now back into the 60,800 zone. The principle would say that if Bitcoin does continue down lower, at least to this point in the chart right here, this is where we are going to understand something's going to change. Okay, so we expect support to come into that point. However, if Bitcoin does go down lower, that would take us to the 58,639 before interest needs to come in. Okay, this is how I'm understanding the Glassnode itself. Okay, I may be wrong, but I'm just applying the hybrid system. Now, looking at Bitcoin on the net unrealized profit and loss. So this is money that is dead in the market and people ain't doing anything about it. Okay, we can see bright as day that Bitcoin right now in the chart, okay, for today, okay, we can see that based on the key of belief and denial, traders, all right, see this green area right here? So if I just zoom into it for you so you can have a closer look, okay, you can see that traders are in two states of mind, okay? We've got the belief and the denial aspect, all right? When price is rising and it's green, then traders are in belief, okay? This is how I'm understanding it. When it's going sideways or pulling down, they are in denial. In other words, they believe that when price is rising, that there's no stopping price going to the upside. When it starts to drop and this indication shows it's green, that traders are in denial, that they can't accept that Bitcoin's going down. Why? Because psychologically, they have a bias to one direction. Okay? It's when it starts getting into the anxiety zone, when it starts to get dark orange, when traders start to show a little bit of concern. It's these points in the chart that we really need to pay attention to. Okay? Great thing about this chart is that traders right now are still in what we understand to be in denial that Bitcoin can't go any lower. Okay. Now this will update tomorrow. All right. So it's going to give me the value for tomorrow. So once we come back to this tomorrow, we'll understand where we stand with this, or even 12 o'clock tonight. Okay. On a new trading day. All right. So I'm going to be playing around with this sort of stuff, ladies and gentlemen, talking about it every now and then in the streams just to put things into perspective. But as I said to you again, adding confluence to confluence, there's nothing wrong with doing that, okay? It just helps you understand from a different perspective, okay? This is the net realized profit and loss. So this is showing me, okay, that people over here, they were taking profits. So this implies that there is a massive supply of Bitcoin, the coin itself, coming in, which is why you've got this big spike in volatility, okay? And people are starting to sell at this point. But look what's going on here. We're not seeing the same point and we're at an all-time high zone. The Bitcoin, when it made the high of what? 55,000? No, sorry. just above that point, is the 60 zone, 67 zone. Yep, in that 67 zone, people were actually taking profits. Now we're near, well, we're at the 60K plus, okay? And people aren't doing anything. You can see that there's not many realized profits coming into the chart. Does that sit in line with the denial of traders across the board? The people that are holding Bitcoin, are they in denial that Bitcoin can't continue down lower? They want it to go up. Yeah? It's just adding confluence. If I'm right, I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Guess what? There's another opportunity to place a trade. Okay? So, looking at the chart itself, you can see bright as day that trading has slowed down for Bitcoin. We're getting spiky behavior up and down. What are we likely to expect next, ladies and gentlemen? Okay? Milad, thank you very much, bro. What's going on here? Where can you get the vector indicator on TradingView? Join the Discord, guys. Okay? Join the Discord. Everything that you need is in the description of this video, ladies and gentlemen. So don't worry. Everything you need is in there. All right? So what can I expect for Bitcoin right now? Well, look, we've had a sharp move out of this zone. This small W formation seems to have played a big important role. Looking at the volume to the downside, you can see volume's drying up across the board. We're getting big pumps in price. When volume's dry, volatility is present. They're just throwing traders about. We are expecting a retrace back towards the 50 EMA. That's what we're expecting. Once price gets towards the 50 EMA, then Bitcoin may take this journey. As you can see, this M4, there's this peaks, the little triangle plays right here. Because if they are going to make a move to the upside, they're going to want to build a few more positions whilst they're at it. All right? They're going to want to do that, which is why I'm expecting them to actually move price back up and form the second leg of a W formation. But remember, anything can happen, guys. Bitcoin could come all the way back up towards the 50 EMA, which sits at a previous pool of liquidity, and they could actually come back down quite aggressively and hit the next zones in the chart, which we see in the vectors, okay? Which would then be consistent with the book map down at 58K, okay? Now, looking at the book map itself, I can see bright as day that they are trying their very hardest to hold this zone. For every move that goes up away from this point right here, you see him coming back down, more orders are coming into the chart, okay? So, look, you can see the orders are coming in, stepping in. There's more liquidity coming into the highs as well. Now, zooming out again, can we see any more liquidity? It's all at 70K. So, it doesn't look like anything's happening in this point. So, what I'm saying to you is this zone right here in the chart is very important for Bitcoin because it's the previous zone that they had come from previously. Look. The previous zone that they bounced away from is right here. Okay? This is the most notable point in the chart based on this accumulation zone. All right? Are they doing the same over here? That's the key thing. This is what we need to try and understand with our trading, ladies and gentlemen. Don't look at price and attach indicators and make your decisions based off those indicators. No. It's all down to the psychology of what the market maker's trying to make the retail trader think. Across YouTube, anywhere, across the board, everyone's talking about Bitcoin crashing. Why is it crashing? Please tell me why you think it's crashing, okay? It's taken them nearly 2 days to drop price. Nah, that's too long for me. That's too much time to drop price. You want to know what a crash is, okay? You watch price rising for 6 months and that same move gets wiped within 2 hours. That is a crash, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to see what a crash looks like, you come to Forex, okay? Because there have been crashes in Forex and even in the S&P 500. You'll understand it when you see it in those marketplaces. This is not a crash. It's just a key word, to be honest with you. It just helps with SEO. And that's just being brutally honest with you people, you know? Because that's what happens in crypto. They install fear and they install greed. I mean, look, man, look at this. Look at the Glassnode itself. Look at what words are being used to describe the state of minds for traders across the board. With the exception of capitulation, where traders are actually closing positions at the volatile points because they're taking losses. Okay? Hope, fear, optimism, anxiety, belief, denial, euphoria, greed. These are the indicators, ladies and gentlemen. Not stochastics, not RSIs, not fibs, not triangles, no Toblerones, nothing. These are your indicators. Okay? Trading, yes, is a technical game. But I would say, in my opinion, 90% of it is all psychological. Why? Because what makes the person come to the chart to buy in the first place? A number of factors. And the sooner you get that in your mind, the easier you're going to be receptive to the idea of what's going on with price, coupled with the hybrid system. You see, the hybrid system is merely just telling you what is present in the chart. You got a vector candle here, a vector candle here. The most sophisticated thing in the hybrid system is, in my opinion, is the 50 EMA, because it's got a bit of a cloud on it. That's the most sophisticated thing. But understanding what goes on in the hybrid with the vector candles to the upside and to the downside, and why we see the blue vector appearing always with Bitcoin at the highest point in the chart, where traders are at their most euphoric and greedy state of mind, that is when price turns. Why? Because market maker does things in the opposite direction. Welcome to the hardest, easiest way to make money for anybody new to the stream. But that is the basis of what crypto is about. Crypto trading, in my opinion. You know? Shout out to the Toblerone. I knew someone would drop some line about that. How is everybody this evening anyway, man? You know? What's everyone saying? Is everyone all good? Oh, dollar yen, man's been winding me up. Dollar yen. I ain't talking about dollar yen, man. She keeps on going. I'm waiting for the short on dollar yen. And gold as well is going crazy. Something's brewing, man. You want your name to be... Hey, compliments to Fibonacci, man. The guy was a G. But who we got in the room? What's happening tonight? Who's in with me tonight? 222 likes in the room. And 900 of you are sat here watching the charts. Show some love. Be sure to like and subscribe if you are new. Let's play the algorithm game. Pump the algo, as they say. Okay, then. So... let's have a look. We've actually dived into Bitcoin, so let's have a look at what's been going on across the board. If you watched the last video I updated about the altcoins, we're going to have a look at what's been happening right there. So, nothing. Altcoins have taken a battering today. Okay? It's nice and cheap across the board. All right? So we're going to dive into which coins we need to really be paying attention to. Okay? Mana coin, Decentraland, nice move away from the 50 EMA. It seems as though that the metaverse coins seem to be holding it down really well. Okay, Sand coin today did really well. Okay, as you can see. Oh my days, look at that, unbelievable. Look at that, it's just not stopped. Brilliant. See, what's got my attention is this. Okay. Many altcoins across the board were showing this behavior, okay? Your goal was, your job as a trader is to try and grab and find those altcoins in this list, okay? So that you can capitalize on these sort of plays. We were talking about this morning, all right? Green vector candle, stopping volume, hits the range daily low, sorry, and shifts out of the zone. Look at that monstrous strength, okay? Jasmy coin, following Bitcoin's price action, stopping volume again across the board. Now, if we actually pull up the total market cap itself on with everything with the exception of Bitcoin and just keep Ethereum in there as well, look at that. Total market cap with the exception of Bitcoin. Although they are following Bitcoin's price action, they are seeing exactly the same price action on the total market cap. So across the board, many alts are doing this sort of behavior. But with the exception of Sand itself, okay, when you see Sand, you can see bright as day that they are against the overall trend. So when things do start to pick back up, this is the coin that you want to be focusing on. All right? What's going on, George? Do you know what? Infinex, the thing is, Bookmap at 20k, you're going to see orders. I mean, the more I zoom out in this, the more orders I'm going to see. Okay? Yes, 20k. There are orders sat at 20k. Okay? Nothing. Nothing at 100k. That's what's funny about this, guys. 70k and 20k seem to be two important points in the chart. Of course, 70k is closer than 20k. So realistically, what we need to understand is this area right here going to be the point that pushes Bitcoin to 70 to trigger those orders to start a nice move to the downside? Are we going to see the altcoins actually going against Bitcoin? Is Bitcoin going to bleed out? Okay. What my concern is if Bitcoin drops from 60 all the way down to 20 in a short amount of time, that'll be concerning. But if it takes its time doing that, I'm cool with that. Yeah. Let's have a look at what else is going on. Solana. I want to look at Solana. Coming down to, look, guys, listen, everything is coming down to previous zones that they consolidated from. Look, the last consolidation zone for Solana was right here. This is where price is right now, okay? Solana does a real good job of holding around the 800 EMA. Every time it comes to that 800 EMA, it always does something very interesting, okay? Just look at this zone right here, okay? Now, if you zoom back, you can see previous accumulation zone at the 800 EMA right here, okay? Just look at this. That zone right there. And then you've got this zone right here. The same thing is happening, all right? They move away from that point. Now we zoom up and have a look at where we are, and you can see same accumulation zone potentially developing, and you've got this point in the chart right here. Are we seeing the same thing happening? All right? This is what I'm expecting Solana to do if Bitcoin does stabilize and just accumulates in one zone. Okay? Cake. What's going on with cake? Cake. Where is cake? Let's just search for cake 2 seconds. Cake. Yeah, it's just, I mean, look, cake between $17 and $20 is cool, man. That's all right for cake. You know? Yes, we've got some liquidity down here that they are likely to try and take. Okay, it has broken this previous zone right here. Okay, but it might try and come back into this zone because you can see bright as day. They've completely recovered this zone in the chart right here. That was a previous vector point right there. It's been fulfilled. Now we've got these zones right here that are available for them to take, but will they take them is the question. Okay. Now, guys, listen, if you want these indicators in the chart, make sure you go get to the Discord itself, guys, because it's all in there in the announcements. Okay, and we've got the wiki in there as well that people have been contributing to. So just get yourself over to the Discord. Make sure you follow the server rules and react to the message, because you won't activate the channels if you don't do that. Okay. What else has been doing well? Solos. I mean, look, yeah, not that much liquidity in there, so really need to wait for liquidity to come into this coin. I'm not really seeing much with that. Bit of a new coin to me, if I'm honest with you. I like looking at coins like this. XRP, let's have a look at XRP. Again, following the same behavior as Bitcoin. Ladies and gentlemen, you need to understand something. It's all about finding the coins that are doing the opposite of what is happening right now. 1 inch, what's it doing? Holding the range. Okay, Tino, do something for Bitcoin to go up. I got a Mercedes I want to buy for Christmas. Thanks. SLP. This is what I'm going to do. Check this out. Get into the habit of doing this. Go through altcoins. Okay. Oh, look at that. Chromia seems to be moving away from the zone quite aggressively. Okay. So it seems like they're trying to break above the 50 EMA. Put that on your list, ladies and gentlemen. Keep an eye out on it. Comp seems to be staying in this 300 zone for quite some time. Okay, has moved away from it, come back down. Now it's holding the point. Deviation away from the 50 EMA, now looking to come back. Let's see what happens. Ethereum, okay, doing the same things. Actually trading down a little bit lower, but we've got the liquidity right there. Remember, we've been at highs, guys. They're going to want to take some profits. Okay, fear is not in people's eyes just yet. Okay, people are in denial right now. They can't accept that it's going to go any lower, so they are going to be committed to holding their positions in the charts. The unrealized profit is being held in the charts, which is the market maker's profit itself, because people don't pay themselves. Axis coming back up. Look at that. See, that's very interesting. Spikes up towards the 50 EMA. Deviation away from the 50 EMA, coming back up. It's already tapped that previous pool of liquidity right there in the chart. Keep an eye out on Axis, ladies and gentlemen. It's doing the opposite of what's going on right now. Okay. CRV showing strength, following Bitcoin's move. Pretty much the same thing. Theta doing exactly the same thing. DOT's taking a battering to the downside, down to $41. But look, the problem that I've got is with these big wicks in the chart itself, they haven't actually come back down to them in the actual altcoins. Because if you look at Bitcoin itself, okay, they've already dropped price down to that zone. Look, they've already done it right here. Okay, so that's important for Bitcoin. Yeah, they've already come down to that point, and there are a lot of altcoins that have traded away from it. Does that imply that the support is there and they're not favoring those zones in the chart? We need to work out what's going to happen there. Okay, back to the book map. I just need to have a look at what other orders are coming into the chart itself. A lot more orders have been dumped at 70k again. Things are starting to dry out in this zone right here at the 58. You see, remember the image earlier on? There was that image. You notice? That's 55 zone, the 58 zone right there. Now the orders are actually starting to dry out. So what they're doing is they're starting to mark it up closer towards price. They're taking them off and putting them up closer just so they can get those orders filled, because they believe that the book itself is now going to be pushing price higher because the imbalance is favoring towards limit sales. Okay, I believe that if we do hit the 70k point, that will be another all-time high and another break to the downside, because that is where traders will be at their most euphoric state of mind. And that's the best time for market makers to appear and reverse price, when everyone is greedy and feeling excited about price, where they think that nothing can happen. All right, always keep your wits about this yourself in this game, guys, because it's a beastie game. Okay, you know. So yeah, I've been watching who? You must be mad, bro. All right then, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4 zones in the chart. Okay? Look at that big volume coming into the chart. See, this is what's important about the book map, guys. Okay? It's understanding where volume is appearing in the candlestick. That's what's important. That's what we need. Look at the volume tabs at the low. Okay, you can see they're starting to push price higher. Interest is stepping into the chart. This is where we expect them. So when price does come down to this point right here, orders should be activated and keep price in that range and move it back up again. So principally, we should see price continuing back up from this point to test this intention up here. You see that there? That right there came in to show support, to encourage price to step up. We want to see price coming back up towards the 61.5 zone. Okay? You need money for wife-changing lawyer. Oh, goodness. Any take on Hero? Give me a second. We'll actually have a look at Hero. Hold on a sec. At Rook. Have a look at Rook. Let's have a look at Rook. I'm guessing that's what we're looking at. Rook Perp, Rook USD. Let's have a look. Ah, quite an expensive coin. Okay. It's got this pool of liquidity right here. A big pool down there. But like I said, they're all copying what Bitcoin's doing. So it's based on what Bitcoin decides to do. Although this coin may actually come down and hit this pool of liquidity and bounce from it. But they've already had a rejection of the 50 EMA, and it was a sharp rejection as well. So I think they could actually drop this coin down lower. Okay. AVAX is pumping. Well, actually, I want to understand what... where is it? AVAX. I need to change this, man. Ticker, that's what I want. Okay. Here we go. Nah, don't do that. Let's go back to that. AR, Alice, Algo. BNB. Holding again. BNB's had a mad run, man. 1, 2, 3 hits. Market maker. Yeah? 1, 2, 3 hits. Market maker. 3 pools of liquidity they can come back to. So by principle, we could expect the following with Binance, BNB. Say this little W formation plays out. or then it starts to consolidate in this zone. We see the first zone, they hit it, they come back down, consolidate, try and move back up again, retrace, then hit this zone right here, come back, and then make another attempt up. The same way that they drop price 3 times to the downside, we're going to see 3 waves of price moving up to the upside. Okay, those 3 waves could actually appear once right there, once right here, and of course in this zone right here. All right, so we'll see if that is likely going to be the case with Binance, on the assumption that this is the point that they decide to turn from. Okay, Algo, flipping over to Algo, currently in the W formation that I'm expecting her to try and complete. Okay, yet again, 1, 2, 3 hits. You're seeing it, yeah? So a lot of altcoins are probably going to follow this status. All right, so what else have we got across here, man? Give me another coin. FTM. Are you seeing the general pattern, guys? All right, everything is happening in this zone. It's all about this point in the chart. It's all about what Bitcoin's doing. Something seems to be brewing. I don't like it. All right, I don't like the fact that there are a very few handful of altcoins that are actually going against what's going on here. If the dominance of Bitcoin is dropping, then the altcoins need to take precedence. But everything seems to be following one move. Right now, dollar is rising. Okay, and considering all these coins are traded against the dollar itself, is there a disparity that we need to take into consideration right now? Okay, need to dive into the 15-minute time frame to understand what's going on. Look how beautiful that W formation looks. Psychologically, you can see how people have been trapped up in this zone. Big spikes to the downside, shift out of the zone, recovery of the blue vector candle right there. Okay, didn't favor any lower prices, and they've tried to shift out of the zone. So back to when I was talking about Binance coin, this could be the first shift out of the zone. Price comes out of it, goes higher. But what do we wait for, ladies and gentlemen? On any time frame, specifically the 15-minute time frame and the 1-hour time frame, you want the 5 and the 13 EMA to cross over the 50 EMA and price to be above all 3 moving averages, which is the 50, the 5 and the 13, and you want the 5 and 13 EMA to expand. That's what you're waiting for. All right, you want this expansion. You see it? That right there. You need that to happen in the charts. Okay? Tony, have a look at Step. Look at Step. Is a coin they use for Solana. Also SXP. Yeah, SXP has been shifting today. Let me get up SXP. Ah, it couldn't hold it. Nah, they couldn't hold these gains today. SXP earlier on today was doing very well in this zone up until the New York session. All right. And then they just took a battering to the downside. But the good thing is it's tapped the 800 EMA and it's now trying to base out in this zone in the chart. Okay. Again, 1, 2, 3 zones that they could come back down to. Okay. So keep an eye out on that. My guy's spamming up the chat. So let's do it for him. EPS. What's that going to do? Perfect W formation. Look at that. Quite a stiff one as well, to be honest with you. You have got this W pattern right here, okay, where you've got 1, 2, 3 hits to the downside, blue vector coming into the chart, massive amounts of volumes coming in. So this volume is telling you how often price exchanges hands at this point in the chart. So it's really important you understand that. It's not volume based on how many orders have been purchased. It's about how many times price changes. Okay, and you can see that the change of price has favored lower prices because market maker is preparing to go long. Okay, brings it back to the 50 EMA, price drops back down again. Okay, Omi, I like this coin. It's quite a bold coin, to be honest with you, quite wicked out, but it moves pretty well sometimes, in my opinion. Ethereum. Look at that beautiful pattern by Ethereum. You can't complain, man. Ethereum does nice numbers when she's in the charts. There it is right there. Okay. Tanner, Tino, could you just give an example of how you would enter a trade and place the stop loss profit take? Okay, that guy, I'll do it for you. I'll look at VRA in a second. Okay, then let me bring you an example. Okay, let's look at Ethereum. on a pattern on, it's all down to where you decide to place a trade and what time frame you're looking at from and what you want to achieve. Okay, so depending on the pattern itself, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes I will trade the development of the W formation before I actually trade the breakout of it. Okay, so let me just bring up a decent pattern for you so you guys can see bright as day. Okay, here's a decent one. Okay, look at this. So this is on the 15-minute time frame. This is a W formation. So I'm preparing myself. I've seen price make a dump to the downside. Okay. Now I had two options in this zone. Okay. If I dived into the smaller time frames, I could have taken the trade on this V-shaped pattern. This is something that I talk about with the Patreons of the channel, where we talk about the V-shaped movement, where we see volatility outside the volatility band, showing the big shark fin outside the bands, and we expect price to come back in because of the volatility of the move itself. Okay, so this is one point in the chart where I'd been looking to try and exploit and take advantage for. All right, now if I just mark off this zone right here, I will give you a hypothetical scenario of where I would likely enter into the chart. Okay, so I drop down onto the 5-minute time frame, go back into the 22nd of October. Here we go. And what do we have? Where's price? Here we go. Where are you? Where are you? 25th. There's that zone right there. Okay. So check this out. So I know price is dropping. All right. I'm expecting at some point price to come back to the 50 EMA. So I say to myself, well, do I trade off the volatility of this the first leg of this W formation, or do I wait for price to stabilize and wait until it hits the 50 EMA before I make a decision, or do I just wait completely for the whole pattern to show precedence before it actually breaks out? Okay, so when you're looking at it from this point of view right here, ladies and gentlemen, this is all you have. Okay, now actually let me bring it in closer. So say we're at this point in the chart. Okay, now I'll be looking at it from the 1-minute time frame. Okay, so that's what I see right now. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, at the start of the next hour, okay, whatever time it was, there you go, first 15 minutes right there, and next 15 minutes, I'm looking to see if they are going to bring price back up in the next 5 minutes, okay? So I look at my RSI and I say to myself, where's the RSI at? It's right now inside the volatility band right there, as you can see ever so slightly, the green RSI line right there. So I know it's inside the volatility band, so I've got a bit of divergence in the chart. I'll take the trade. That's as simple as that. I would make my entry at the start of the new candlestick on this play right here. Why? Because that's all I can do. Because I've got nothing else to go by. I know they've been dropping price. They made one attempt back up towards the 50 EMA on the 5-minute time frame. They failed that and they've pulled away from it, but a big pump in price to the downside. Okay? I will take the trade and say to myself, that's it. You pay to play. If I'm wrong, happy days. If I'm right, happy days. So if I took the trade, I would have seen a little bit of drawdown, but then they came back up. I would have taken advantage of that V play only because the RSI itself was showing volatility inside the volatility band. So things were slowing down to the downside. There was divergence. That's an example. I would enter on this open of this candlestick right here. And if I had any drawdown, fine, I'm cool with that. But I would be holding my trade and waiting for the retrace back up to the 50 EMA. The second I decide to close a trade is when I'm in momentum. I don't wait for it to close, like fall out a little bit. All right. Don't wait for it to pull back. Close into momentum. So your close would be at this point in the chart. And this candlestick. The close of this candlestick on the assumption that momentum is moving in your favor. Don't close when things are slowing down because you'll end up holding it and thinking, okay, look, I've seen these two stopping volume candles. Price could actually go back up from this point. But if you made profit from this point here to this point here and didn't pay yourself, you would have to sit through all of this drawdown, even down to your entry. But there's no guarantee that it was going to continue higher. Okay? Remember, this part of the chart doesn't exist when you're looking at it like this. When you're in a profitable trade and you see the candlestick showing this sort of behavior right here, you pay yourself and you get out and start again. That's the best way I can explain it to you guys, man. That's the best way. Okay then, where we at? Bitcoin. 5-minute time frame. What you got for me? Oh, what do we know? There's your rise up, retrace, looking for the continuation to the upside. Is that what we are likely to see in this chart right now? They've hit the 200 EMA. Remember, on the smaller time frames, 200 EMA is very important. Big shift out of the zone. Finding resistance at the 200 EMA, 50 EMA, sorry, on the 50-minute time frame, which is the 13 EMA on the hourly. It's a very important zone we're in right now, guys. Very important. Okay. You know, would you put 5K for 1 year? Tino, where would you put 5K for 1 year to hold? Great question. Where would I put it? Couldn't tell you, bro. Because it's all down to... what would I say? I mean, I can't really tell you where to put it, bro. I would put it into something that you'd be able to manage. Okay? Something that you'd be comfortable managing. All right? No worries, Tanner, man. It's all good. All right, then. What I'm going to do, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, what's this? Tino, thoughts on MT Gox 140k Bitcoins being distributed and released back to trustees? Just looked at BNB. Well, look, whenever something is happening, remember, guys, this is Bitcoin trading Bitcoin. Okay, we're trading the result of people buying it and selling it as a coin. Okay, remember, these candlesticks are the result of people's interest where they think Bitcoin's going to go up or down. Remember, guys, earlier we were talking about this zone where these points in the chart on the book map itself were actually showing the interest by traders. Okay, they came back down and they stepped in again. And look at that. The 59 zone now is showing more liquidity. Okay. But there's nothing up here. They've still got those resting orders right there, sitting in the order book, waiting to be filled. Is this dip going to be the dip that actually brings Bitcoin back up? Okay? I'm expecting this pattern to form. Okay? This behavior of price. So what's going to happen is Bitcoin's going to consolidate in this zone. That's what I understand it to do. Okay? And then altcoins in the meantime are going to start shifting out of the zone. All right? Then when it's Bitcoin's turn, altcoins are going to hold, pull back, come test the 50 EMAs, come back to the rise level 1s, level 2s, okay? Bitcoin makes its victory move, makes its way to 70k. Everyone's then preparing for 100k, but the book map says otherwise because there is nothing at 100k. No one is putting orders at 100k. Nothing. Even if I go deeper and deeper into the book map, okay? Can't even go above that. All right? There's nothing up here. Just measly orders. Guys with like 85 cents worth of Bitcoin are putting orders up here. All right? Because when I get rid of these actual figures themselves, look, 100k right there. Nothing. So small amounts of cryptocurrency sat in those zones right there, guys. All right? These are the heavy orders in the chart. Okay. Arbo, mana on the 1 hour, 13th of November at 12 is a red vector, but on the 15-minute, the bottom half of the vector has been claimed. Do we disregard the red vector on the 1 hour? No, we do not. Okay. We do not disregard the vector. We never disregard vectors. Remember, one vector itself, okay, on one, if a vector on a higher time frame, okay, as you can see here, look, this is the 15-minute vector candle right here in the chart. We dive into this actual candlestick itself and look at it on the 5-minute time frame. We can see out of the 3 candlesticks, market maker presence, 1, 2, 3 pushes up. It's the last one that's important, okay? Because the previous 2 right here didn't show vectors, all right? But then if we dive into the actual candlestick itself, so I'm going to mark off on this, these 2 candlestick points right here. And then when we go on to the lower time frames, we're going to start seeing some interesting behavior. Look at this. 1 minute time frame. Oh, wow. Marked it off. The one vector right there and the second vector right there. You couldn't practice that. That was fluke. Look at that. So this whole move to the upside, we understand on the 1 minute time frame, started with 3 impulsive moves to the upside. Check it. 1, 2, 3. Okay? You can even include this one as the fourth one to the upside, because then when you bring it onto the 5-minute time frame, you see you got the 1, 2, 3 hits higher, and then on the 15-minute time frame, it makes up these 2 vector candles right here. Okay? Do not ever disregard any vector candles in the chart, because they are key points in the chart that the market maker does something to induce traders to step in and step out of positions. Remember, going back to the Bitcoin unrealized profit and loss chart itself, what are they trying to make traders believe? Okay, zoom out. Where are they making traders act? Are they making the traders be disbelief, have the belief or denial engagement? Okay, price is rising. Are we going to see the euphoria coming in? Are they going to be greedy? What's the market maker trying to make people do? That's the first question you should ask yourself when you're coming into the charts, ladies and gentlemen. What is the market maker trying to make the retail trader think? Because the retail trader needs to psychologically be influenced to open a trade, because he isn't going to be using a system to open a trade. Hell no. He doesn't use any system. He's irrational. He only thinks about greed. He only thinks about buying at the highest point in hope that price is going to continue rising from that point. Because we're under this impression that if something is going in at full force, then it's going to continue in that direction. That may apply to physics. But this is the marketplace. We're dealing with human behavior here. All right? You can't really apply physics. Unless you start drawing Toblerones and triangles, then that's a different story. No disregard to any geometry masters out there, but the patterns that we use, ladies and gentlemen, are psychological. The game itself is psychological. Why would you challenge it? You know? Peak formation. Why do futures, which in my opinion are synthetics, to affect the actual real coin price? Because that's where most money is being traded. Look at the liquidation points, okay? Who's getting liquidated? Let's bring it back into the glass node, okay? Let's have a look. Bring up the glass node and just look at dashboards. Let's have a look. Do we have liquidations? Where are they? Mining transaction fees. I thought I saw it. No, it's not on here. TR dashboard. No, haven't got it up on here. No, I haven't got it. Recent data. Yeah, because they want me to pay 10 grand for this bad boy. That's why. Where did I see the liquidation points? So more and more people are starting to hold more now. Okay. Yeah, I got to play around with this. I got to really dive into this, man. There are 2 types of ways you can pay. You can pay like the $29 a month one, or you can go for the whole year and pay 10 grand up front and get the real-time information on it at 10 minutes a time as opposed to 24 hours. It's a big difference. Massive difference. Okay? I'm trying to find the liquidations, but I'm not seeing it. I saw it earlier on, but exchanges, that's it. Exchanges, here we go. Is this what it is? Transfer volume is starting to drop. Dominance, exchange fee dominance. No, no. On Binance, let's see the balance on Binance. Net transfer volume. No. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. My apologies. I'll have to add that to that later on. Okay then. So. Oh, the countries. That's called fiat leak. You're talking about this right here, aren't you? You're talking about this one. You're talking about this crazy website. Fiat leak. To anybody new to the channel, this is a live feed of all the transactions that are happening on the blockchain as we speak. There's probably a little bit of a delay on there, but let's just have a look at Bitcoin. Okay, I'm going to turn off this sound because whenever Bitcoin makes an all-time high or an all-time low, not an all-time low, but when it makes a certain point in the chart, it actually explodes in the chart and starts to flash. But very shortly, we can see the buy-only contracts. Okay, now you've got to be careful what makes up these buys. Okay, does it include any other transactions off the exchanges as well? Who knows? Okay, but you can see it actually, yeah, sorry, it shows you, if you look closer, you'll see it says Binance, Qcoin. It tells you, and it gives you an indication of Bitcoin, the amount of Bitcoin purchased every moment in the chart. And as you can see, the US is soaking up all the Bitcoin. All right, little bit going from Kraken, going all the way to Russia, Asia, in that zone. But you'll see very shortly that it starts to get faster and faster. Usually in the Asian session later on, it starts to get a little bit busy. Okay. Yes, it's free of charge. You can access it. It's got a forum on there. It's quite a funny forum as well. Some people talk and they have battles in here, which is really good. So you can sit back and enjoy the chaos. But it's just a nice thing to look at in the background. It gives you an idea of what's going on the blockchain as such. There it is. 24-hour price, high, low, earthquakes. You know? Gives you all the exchanges. You can just set it for Binance US, Bitcoin.com, Bitfinex, BitMEX. These are all the exchanges right here. Okay, it's got everything, and that's what's going on right now with all these orders coming in. Okay. Yeah, I know it does make that. It happens to me, man. It does happen to me. You know? You know? All right, then. Well, ladies and gentlemen, just to finalize, okay, because I don't want to keep you guys too long on these streams. I like to make them short and sweet because I know people from across the world don't have much time to watch the whole stream. So I like to keep it sweet. So here we go. To break it down. Bitcoin has now stepped away from this zone right here. Okay, it has hit the 50 EMA, but it's shown resistance. Now, if Bitcoin does hold this point in the chart, all right, what you need to wait for, specifically, especially on the 1 hour, okay, you want to wait for price to be trading above the 5 and the 13 EMA on the 1 hour time frame, because the 50 EMA is too far away. Okay, so we need to see the momentum coming into the chart. They will recover this wick right here, okay, because we know that this is a red candle, green candle formation, so they are likely to try and push price further up. Okay, at that point, the 5 will cross over the 13 EMA, and then we need to see them expanding, because then the 50 EMA will naturally come down towards this price and meet up with it, and then we should see the breakout to the upside if they are going to send price higher. If not, they will make a move to the upside, try and recover more than 50% of this wick, and try and come back down to this point in the chart and just range out and then drift price down lower and lower until it comes to a nominal point in the chart where they have absorbed enough liquidity, but at the same time made the challenge on the retail traders who are in denial right now that Bitcoin can't go down any lower. Okay? So, other than that, guys, mad love and respect. Make sure you tune in tomorrow at about 1:30, 2 p.m. GMT so we can catch the New York session. If you are new to the channel, be sure to like and subscribe, show some love, and you can join the Pattern Watchers Discord. It's all there for you in the description of this video. Other than that, guys, take care of yourselves. Got nothing but love for all of you. Have a good night, guys. Peace.